Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with SwiftCover.com. For car insurance, don't wait in line, go online. Get a life. Get Swift Covered.
Absolute Radio.
This is the Frank Skinner Absolute Radio podcast, and this is me, Frank Skinner, with Emily and Gareth.
Hello.
Sorry, you caught us mid-joke there, but the other one has gone now. So today's show I thought was absolutely splendid.
It was a lovely show before we go away.
It was, yes, because Gareth's going away to have a baby, and so he'll be sorely missed. But Isy Suttie was our guest, and she was very funny, as always. And we talked a bit about Britain's Got Talent.
We talked quite a lot about Britain's Got Talent.
It got a bit out of hand, did it? I mean, yes, I'm not going to apologise.
Well, what else is going on? Nothing else is going on.
No,
MPs are corrupt.
No, FA Cup final, who cares?
Collapsed.
And you're going off on holiday, Frank, and you've even got your sunglasses on your head.
I never do that.
Like a wag.
I never do that, but I didn't gel today before I went out, so I thought they'll be all right up there. Because if you've gelled, you put your sunglasses on your head, they come down after that. It's like they've been in the deep fat fryer in a chip shop. I hate that. But yes, I'm off on holiday. But I don't know why I'm telling you this, because you'll just listen to the podcast and that's all on there. Just listen. I thought it was one of the most I've enjoyed all of them all. It was a cracker. So thanks for listening. We appreciate it. And enjoy.
Absolute
Radio.
I'm Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I'm with Emily. I'm with Gareth. It's
Hello.
Saturday morning. It's Britain's Got Talent final, the FA Cup final. And I'm going on holiday all on the same day. Unbelievable. So, yes, well, I watched Britain's Got Talent. I know everyone's talking about it, but we've got to talk about the 10-year-old girl who cried.
Oh, God.
It was, oh, man, I was in bits, honestly. It was the poor. Halfway through Edelweiss. There's no worse time to go, I think.
I don't believe her, though. I don't think they were real tears.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry. I think the second bit was real, but you know when she initially cried, she cried in that way that every 10-year-old kid does when they want something and they can't have it. And then she got her own way. She went,
Exactly. Emily cries like that at the start of every show. Once we've started, I want to start again.
No, child.
I want to start again.
Yeah, I thought at the end of the show, the guy who came third should have gone, oh, why can't I start again? I should be allowed to start again as well. He's actually got a higher singing voice than her, that bloke.
like the guy with the huge cape.
Oh, no, I felt so sorry for Holly Steele. She was genuinely upset. No child could stage that. It would have been one of the great acting performances.
I can't believe you just said that.
A child wouldn't do that, wouldn't risk everything by... What if they'd said you can't... Well, they did say you can't do it again.
Yeah.
There was a great moment. Was it Ant who said it? Ant said, we've had a message from the producer. Actually, you can't do it again. It was fantastic. Absolutely brilliant.
And then Simon came in and said, no, it's fine, you're going to do it. And Ant looked really cross, I thought.
I thought that was great, though, because Simon Cowell obviously controls time. So if he could actually stop time so that it could happen. What he did, what I liked, it was very merciless. They just buzzed the juggler after about 10 seconds, so they got time for her to do it again.
I think they offed a performer as well. There was going to be one more when they took him out the back and finished him off in the alleyway.
But I like the idea that when she was doing all that, then Susan Boyle was at home saying, oh, nobody will believe this, you little brat. He'll cry. You will to one a day. I'll make you cry. Then you'll cry properly.
You can cry, but can't you fight? Can't you fight, eh?
That's what it'll be like. I think Susan Boyle could well be turning up armed. And if she doesn't win, she could just go postal at the end of the thing and take as many people out as possible. Oh, so I didn't win. Right, neither do you. We're all losers tonight. Oh, God. Like somebody buzzing, thinking it might stop her.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily and Gareth. It's Saturday. We've got Isy Suttie coming in afterwards. It was a very...
She's in Peep Show, isn't she?
She is from Peep Show, and she's a very funny comedian live as well. And so she's coming in. Joe Russell, who's on after us, guess who she's got coming in?
I've no idea.
It's Stavros Flatley,
Wow.
the dancing Greek father and son.
Father and
Oh,
son.
They're
there
my
won't-
favourite. I want them to win.
There won't be an intact piece of
do.
crockery left in the studios. I imagine they go everywhere to Zort.
See, he doesn't cry, that boy, does he? He holds his
He
emotions
did cry.
together.
He did cry because
During the performance, he doesn't.
his dad said to him, "What you crying for? What you
Yeah.
crying for?"
His dad
That's what
did
he
the
said.
classic
Well,
dad
during
thing.
the performance,
Oh, what
no.
you crying for?
He was a professional. Unlike that holy child.
Oh, God.
Turning on the waterworks, getting her own way.
She was upset. Imagine how she feels today. I mean, as that thing, it's like getting back on the horse, isn't it? You know what I mean? Now that she went back on and she sort of got through it, has that given her strength for the rest of her life, thinking that when things seem that they're hopeless, you can always turn it round?
No, not if you throw yourself off the horse on purpose. That's different.
I just can't believe.
She's learnt that you can turn on the waterworks and get your own
Exactly.
way for the rest of her
Very
life.
bad life lesson, Grant.
You've been taught to Susan Boyle, that's it. Did you see that thing with the judges? When Susan Boyle was on this week, the judges started saying that Simon says, "Look, can I just apologise, because when you first came on this show, we really misjudged you." And she just looked like she didn't know what he was talking about. Like she hadn't heard about that bit. And she started going, "I know nothing. I know nothing. I know this over." Oh, it was terrifying.
Was that a Manuel
brilliant.
reference?
It was. I'm sure it was or maybe it was just something that she used to have to say at school a lot. But I think it was a Manuel reference. Yeah, it's only a matter of time before she's being phoned up by Russell Brand and Jonathan Ross. Has she got a grand? No, she wouldn't have a grand. She couldn't have a granddaughter, could she?
No, she's
Not if
never
she's a
been-
virgin. That
no.
wouldn't be possible.
No one's ever lanced the boil.
I can't believe. Susan, if you're listening, I can only apologise. Oh, don't worry, you apologise. So,
Gareth's got a good Britain's Got Talent sort of jingle, haven't you?
I say Britain, you say talent. Britain's Got Talent, it's the DJ talent.
the trouble is that when DJ Talent said Britain,
No.
Britain didn't say talent.
nobody.
They said, mine, there you go.
He doesn't leave a moment, does he? That's the problem.
Is that what it is?
You're supposed to go Britain, and then everyone says Britain.
He doesn't leave a moment. You know, when I was leaving my flats this morning, we've got 24-hour reception on there at the bottom of the flats. Yes, okay. And I was leaving. It was 7:15 or something like that. And as I left, the bloke and I went, "Morning," and I thought that was way too. And he looked at me in a kind of I never knew that you were. It was one of the campest things I've ever said. I don't know why I
It
brought
did
that
sound
up.
a bit jaunty.
I actually did a joke. I like to do jokes in my normal life as well as my professional life. And last night, my girlfriend said to me, she was reading a magazine, and she said, "You know, Tracy Emin has really got my figure." And I said, "Oh, I wonder where it went." And there was a slight tension in the air, I thought. And what I did, though, is I thought maybe she didn't hear me. You know, when you do a joke and they don't laugh, you think maybe she didn't hear me. So I did it again. And she said, "Yes, I got that joke." It was a tense.
Can you take this opportunity to say Kathy has a brilliant figure, please?
She has a fantastic figure. She's like that not Roger Rabbit, but whatever the wife
That's
was
even
called.
worse.
She's got enormous sort of lower back legs, great look, and a Scot. She's got.
She's like Jessica Rabbit.
Do you know what a Scot is?
No.
That's the technical name for a rabbit's white fluffy tail.
Oh, okay.
A Scot. Yeah. The reason I know that is my dad once told me he went poaching and this rabbit tried to run down a hole and his dad grabbed hold of the rabbit's Scot and the rabbit kept struggling and got away and the Scot came away in his hand with several bits of tendon and vein. What time is it? 17 minutes past 8 on a Saturday morning. If you're having kidneys for breakfast, I can only apologise.
Absolute
Radio.
It's Saturday morning, apparently.
Sure is.
Yeah.
I thought of another figure-related thing that I wanted to raise. After, you know what you were saying about Kathy, that you said something about her figure?
Yes.
And you thought it wasn't that complimentary. A boyfriend, you know the comedian who I sometimes refer to,
Yes.
who I went out with, who Gareth thinks is Ken Dodd, but it isn't.
I wish it was.
So do I.
You look like someone who's had extensive experience of a tickling stick. It's when the Diddy men came in, that's when I'd be alarmed. Carry on.
Okay. We were on holiday, and he prodded my tummy.
Carry on was a clue, by the way.
Yeah.
It was Kenneth Williams.
It was Bernard Bresslaw.
Oh, well, I only asked.
So he prodded my tummy as if to say, "You've eaten quite a lot."
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, which I thought was a bit rude. But and then I said, I think I nearly said his name then. I think it's very important to be complimentary about women's figures, and I don't think you're very nice about, my figure a lot of the time. And he said, "I'm always complimentary about women's bodies, but you go mental."
I think that's an excellent point. Have we had any emails yet? We haven't really asked for any subjects, have we, I suppose?
Oh, yeah, we got one.
We've got one email so far. That's the kind of show we run, ladies and gentlemen. I can't tell you, Neil Francis gets like 88,000, and then Joe Russell after us gets 1 million.
Susan Boyle sent us a chicken head.
Was that emailed? Or just nailed to the studio door?
He threw it at the window. You can see the marks.
This is from Rob.
This is from Susan Boyle. She's been all morning cutting the letters out of magazines. What, she's allowed scissors? Are you guys crazy? Didn't I say no scissors for Boyle? Carry on.
It's from Rob, and he says, "Morning, Frank. I so agree with your team. Yes. That child was clearly faking the tears and has conned the British public." I love Rob. Rob, I love you.
Can I say absolutely don't agree. I think it was a tiny little girl upset. I don't think that she has, I quote, conned the British public. God, she's been lumped in with the MP expenses scandal.
She's a grifter. She's a grifter. She's playing us. She's a hustler.
Oh, God, she hasn't even got a moat. Oh, man. Poor Holly. What did you say? Esther Ranson is talking about becoming an MP. I think that's going to be the big outlet now. Is celebrities going into becoming it? If Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother, there might be another one series, and that's it.
Yeah.
Cirque du Celebrité has stopped, so I think politics.
Yeah, that's just going to go on and on.
Did someone say to you when you went on Question Time?
Somebody did say to me, "You should stand." But I think that's because there was a very old woman next to me and I had the only seat in the room.
I think you should be an MP.
Oh, yeah.
I do. Do you know why?
Why?
Because you've actually... I'm not saying you are trustworthy, but you've got a very trustworthy face.
Oh, God, I've got a trustworthy... I think my face should be
you've got rounded eyes and not... It's true. It's quite feminine in some ways, and that means you're more trustworthy. That's true. That's why David Cameron looks more trustworthy than...
David Cameron doesn't look... David Cameron always looks like he's just had a shave. He's too smooth and a bit pink.
David Cameron looks like he's about to balloon at any moment, like he's just going to get massive.
Oh, you don't mean jump into a basket and go off across the Alps?
Well, you wish you would.
I think you were suggesting he looked like one of the Montgolfier brothers.
I don't know who that is.
Well, maybe you should Google it, mister.
Okay, I'll
This
find
show's
out.
educational. Don't Google it now. We're doing a radio
Right.
show, for goodness sake. We're not just sitting in the office. Oh, yeah, where's my Facebook page? For goodness sake. Well, I think we should... why don't people text in who they think would make a good MP, which celebrity?
Who do you think? You've already announced your candidacy.
I think Susan Boyle could replace Gordon Brown. No one would even notice she wore a suit and tie.
I just want to say that the hairy angel is not a nice thing to call somebody. Like, they think by having angel following the word hairy, it makes the word hairy okay. It doesn't make it okay.
No, you're right.
Hairy is an insult.
But what could they? I think, the mad angel.
The singing psycho.
Yeah,
would be a good
exactly.
one.
The Go Postal Angel. Is it a coincidence, by the way, that Simon Cowell, if you just take his initial, it spells, and his surname, it spells scowl, which he does quite a lot.
Yes.
Do you think that's ever been pointed out before
I'm not sure.
in Britain?
I think that he took the game Simon Says far too seriously as a child and just went to his
It
head.
can stop time, certainly. I went to, me and Emily, actually, Gareth wasn't invited. We went to see, we went to the National Theatre on Thursday to see the opening.
I wouldn't have been allowed in.
No, I shouldn't think so. All's Well That Ends Well. So Shakespeare play.
Yeah.
And afterwards, there was a kind of an after show, and I was introduced to this woman, and she had like a sparkly top on, and the light, just as she was introduced to me, the light just sort of caught the top. So I said hello and immediately looked straight at her chest. And she wasn't low cut or anything. I just looked straight at her, and then I realised I'd done that. And I said, I said, can I just say, I was just looking there. I looked down there. You know, I should have just left it. I said, I looked down then because there was like, I wasn't looking at anything. I wasn't like looking at...
Oh, that's nice. I wasn't looking at anything.
Obviously, I wasn't. Yeah, I didn't look that low.
You drew attention to it.
I said, I was trying to make. I didn't want her to think I was a pervert. So I said, I was just looking at the sparkly. I said, I wasn't looking at your cleavage. There was no cleavage. Well, there was. I couldn't see.
Right.
And I said, I wasn't. And she just looked at me and went, "Who are you?"
I loved it. It was hilarious.
And I said, I'm Frank. In a terrible, like I was at Alcoholics Anonymous or something. Oh, it was so tragic.
Absolute
Radio.
The emails are flooding in.
Are they?
Yes, Dom from Balham said David Cameron's baby teeth scare me.
Has he got baby teeth?
I think he
He has got slight baby teeth.
Does that mean that they'll probably fall out during the course of his premiership?
He's got
I like that.
He's got baby teeth in a box under his bed.
I seem to think now, I remember him reaching for a teething ring during Prime Minister's questions.
Mandy reckons Alan Sugar would make a great MP. He'd
I
sort
think that-
things out.
I think that's probably true, you know, because I told you I met Alan Sugar. I've never met a man who spoke so much sort of unrestrained common sense. He was talking about financial advisors. You go to a bank and they tell you where to put your money.
Yeah.
He said it's exactly like if you walk past a bookmaker's and there was a man sitting outside on a deck chair who said, "Look, I know a load about sport. Give me £100,000 and I'll put some bets on for you."
Wow.
And I just, when he said it, I thought, that's so true. He doesn't do that, Sir Alan.
Matt Cotter from Glasgow said Jimmy Cranky as Hazel Blears, Ken Dodd as Chancellor, Smash Ad Martians as backbenchers.
Yeah, we're not casting a musical here. We're actually talking about MPs. Can I just... I've told this story, I think, many, but not on this show. But I phoned someone. It was in the paper that about Jimmy Cranky had been injured in an accident, and I said, "Oh, Jimmy Cranky's got hurt. He fell off she fell off a beanstalk in pantomime." And the person said, "You know, you didn't need the in pantomime part of that sentence." In what other context would you be on a beans? Anyway, sorry, carry on.
And Jimmy Savile for the new speaker. Interesting. Now then,
Order. No, it's not as good as order.
You're so proud of that impression.
I'm very...
gone. Who's standing in for him? Do we know that? Is somebody doing it?
I imagine it because of the
that's true,
expenses
yeah.
scandal. He probably shouted that at his wife when she was online shopping. Sorry, order.
Absolute
Radio.
So
Google
I was at the Hay Festival on.
Hay.
The Hay Festival is not a festival dedicated to the Fonz. it's in Hay on Wye, which is
That
on-
would be great, though. A
What?
festival dedicated to the
Oh,
Fonz.
but it was
Loads of people in leather jackets.
It was a hot day for a leather jacket.
Oh, okay.
I must
And
say.
doll jeans.
Yeah, and what jeans?
He wore those jeans which were like doll jeans, the Fonz. They were really too neatly rolled up. And the denim was a weird colour. Anyway,
What are they called, doll jeans?
you know when they put dolls in jeans?
Oh, dolls?
Yeah, doll.
That's a doll?
That sounds like something you said when you were 7 with your mates. We go, "Look, the Fonzie's wearing doll jeans." Oh, yes!
I like it. I like the way doll jeans have got when they have a label on them, they're much too big for jeans. They haven't scaled down the label. So there's like jeans that would be like an A4 envelope inside, as if anyone could cope with that level of discomfort. So yeah, I was there. I'd like to live at the Hay Festival if it was like all the year round. 'Cause it's basically tents. Not tents as in it's very tense. White tents, structured tents. And I could see then Gareth was after a pun. I had to jump in quick. And these white tents, and in every one of them there's somebody giving a talk. So I walked into a tent and there was the Astronomer Royal giving an hour-long talk about whether there's life on other planets. or not.
Wow.
And then after that I went and saw, and Robert Peston, who's the BBC's financial advisor, was telling us why the recession happened. And you could just spend all day doing that, being told stuff.
Does the Astronomer Royal look a bit like sort of Isaac Newton or Samuel Pepys? I imagine him having sort of lots of long curly hair.
No, sadly, no. He was in a spacesuit. He just got back from he'd been doing a bit of field study. I'll tell you what he did say, which a lot of people might know this, I didn't, that we've all got atoms from old stars in us. We're made up from bits of old... When I say old stars, I don't mean Charlie Chaplin. Yeah, we are stardust. We are golden. Yeah,
Wow.
but isn't that incredible that I've got a bit
We
of...
are all stars.
Yeah, we're all old and decrepit stars. Well, actually, not all of us, just me. But yeah, I was fascinated by that. But he thinks if there's life in this galaxy, this is official statement now.
Yeah.
You've got to be careful what you say, 'cause it might be like that Orson Welles' War of the Worlds, and people think, oh no, there's life. Apparently, it was on Absolute Radio this morning. There's life on other
There
planets.
is definitely life on other planets.
He said there might be simple life, as he put it, in the galaxy. Don't say a word. But yeah. But he said there won't be intelligent life. He said that's highly unlikely. And he said the nearest intelligent life could be, it would take us about 30 years to get a message to them, and then 30 years to get one back. So that would mean, as he said, it would be good for a considered response, but not great for witty repartee.
Watching Britain's Got Talent, I'm not sure there's much intelligent life in Britain.
Well, that's quite a social statement, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
Gareth?
that's how I roll.
But I tell you what I did get. I got given, these books. I don't really want to see who makes
These books?
A computer, an e-book. It's
Okay.
called. An e-book is it's not one of those teddy bears from Star Wars. An e-book is like it looks like a book. It's got
Yeah,
a
I
leather
know
cover,
that.
and then you can load loads of books onto it.
But it's a screen,
It's a
basically, you're
screen.
looking at, yeah.
But it's brilliant. I'm never going to buy another book ever.
Oh, don't say that.
No, who needs books? Now I've got the e-book.
You've said to me, though, there's a bookshop we both like in North London that we both go to. Sorry, that sounds really dodgy, but it's a nice bookshop.
Yeah.
But you walk in, and isn't it lovely, like, looking at the books, taking them off the shelves? You'll just have a load of rows of white machines on the shelf.
No, I only need one machine. That's like saying, don't have an iPod, because it's much better to have loads and loads of CDs all over the house.
Well,
Won't forget the
You'll
books now.
never turn another page.
No, I'll just press a button. I'll never turn another
Oh, it's such a good book, I couldn't wait to scroll down. Is that how you do it? Do you scroll down
It's
or
a real...
does it?
No, you you click a button on the side and then it does that. It's very like turning a page, but easier. Even that is... Honestly, it's the future. So I'll go on holiday today, so I was all set to take it away, and then it wouldn't charge. So I ended up packing my bag with loads of heavy books, so that was the end of that theory.
Can I just say, Frank, someone's written in, Maggie Harper-Ronald, to say, I agree with you all, that Holly Steele is a spoiled brat.
I never said that. I'm pro Holly Steele.
Who knows she can get what she wants by faking tears.
Yeah, well, she's learnt that pretty early.
And she likes you taking off Susan Boyle as well.
Oh, that's very sweet of her. By the way, if you want to phone us and say which celebrity should be a MP, the number is 8 12 15. I probably should have said that earlier. I just thought everyone, look it up, is what I think. What am I, some sort of 118 character? I think not.
Absolute
Radio.
Jeremy Clarkson for MP.
Oh, no.
Terrible idea.
No.
David Attenborough.
Oh, I totally agree with that.
I can't stand David Attenborough.
What?
I can't stand him. I
Frank,
can't-
that's really put our
What kind of a
friendship.
human being would watch an antelope at a waterhole, right? See a tiger coming round the corner, and just go, oh, and he's in real trouble. I mean, who would not go? There's a tiger. Who would not do that? Who was a human being? But no, he says, and he's got no chance. Yeah, he has got a chance. You shout. Throw a stone at that. Nothing. He's a happy slapper. That's what David Attenborough is.
It's the circle of life. Have you not seen The Lion
It's
King?
not the circle of... It's the pleasure of watching something be ripped to pieces. It's unacceptable. You could have saved one antelope. It's not going to change
That's
the
really
planet.
altered my opinion of you. I'm going to have to think about this.
Well, you should think about it and then alter your opinion of David Attenborough and his bloodlust.
Simon Cowell as MP.
Simon Cowell, I think, would be decisive.
He is right about everything.
He is right about everything, but he has got a combination of a centre parting and an old-fashioned American GI crew cut, which should not be combined. He looks like a sort of a black shredded wheat on top of his head, which surely that can't be correct. I have to say, now, morning I've defended Holly Steele, the girl who cried. I say cried now in inverted commas on Britain's Got Talent.
Steely Holly.
But we got the telly on silent in here because we get a bit bored. And they showed the clip of her first time round, and she was doing the face of crying, but there was no. Her cheeks were completely dry.
Dry as the Gobi Desert. I told you that before. You didn't believe me.
No, I didn't believe. I remembered. What I'd done is I'd kind of placed tears.
That's where they get you, these con artists.
Yeah, oh man. Yeah, she's the sort of person that could sell me real estate in Mexico. If 10-year-olds are allowed to do that legally. Not that it would be legal, of course. No, that has really surprised me. I like that thing that you said earlier, by the way, that what will Amanda Holden wear for the final? Because last night she basically came on in her pants and a basque. So tonight, I think she might just be completely naked tonight. Maybe some
she'll
nice,
wear knout.
some nice shoes. Knout.
Yeah,
that's what she'll wear. And Demi Moore isn't. Demi Moore was going to be. It was going to be a big thing. Of course, she was never going to come. Demi Moore. So she was
going to borrow Simon's plane. I like the fact that she said she'd come if she could have the plane, and when he offered first class tickets, she graciously declined.
Is that right?
Yeah.
No, she's not. You know why she's not coming? Because if Susan Boyle doesn't win, she's going to be the first hostage. Isn't she, Demi Moore? It's going to be like King of Comedy. Demi Moore in an arm lock with a gun to the temple saying, "Do I win or does Moore get it?"
Absolute Radio.
Oh, I always feel invigorated after the news. Of course, it's a thing that with the news, people perhaps who don't do radio don't know this, but that's when everybody goes to the toilet in a radio station, because it just, not that they don't want to hear the news, because you can hear it in the toilet. But it just gives you that extra bit of time to go to the toilet and come back. So you go to the toilet, Absolute Radio, and there's loads of people in there. I had half a feeling that Stavros Flatley might be in there.
Wow.
Hopefully in separate cubicles, but they weren't. They obviously haven't arrived yet. So, but that's what people do. And it made me think, if you work on Radio 3, that's an easy gig, isn't it? Because you say, here's Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, and then you're free for like an hour and 10 minutes. What a job. That's my next gig, I tell you. So, I told you I was at the Hay Festival. I had... I did one of those things where, you know, when somebody waves at you and you wave back, and then you realise that they were waving to someone just behind you and not to you. Well, I did it once, and I tried to get away with it like I was just, like, exercising my arm.
Yeah.
And then I did it completely... I did it again, honestly, about 20 minutes after the completely different person. So this time I stopped them and I said, "I'm sorry, I was only waving at you because I thought you were waving at me." And I think if you're let's call it a celebrity,
a non-muggle,
people think, yeah, well, who do you think everybody, the world just evolves around you? Obviously, I knew it didn't, having seen the Astronomer Royals talk. That was one of the things I asked. But
does the world really revolve around me?
But it's a really, oh man, I hate that when you wait.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
I had a horrible experience at the GQ Awards once. And a friend of mine, who's a journalist, Simon, was over the other side of the room. So I was waving manically at him, and James Nesbitt from Cold Feet was standing in front of him. So he starts waving back at me.
Oh, dear.
I didn't know what to do. So then he walked over to me.
Oh, right.
And he went, "You all right? How you doing?"
Did he think it was a chat-up wave?
I don't know. I went,
is that what women do? No woman's ever done that to me. Waved. Oh, these women that can just wave you into bed. That's
wow.
It was weird.
Actually, I don't know if this was a deliberate joke, but I was once in a restaurant with Emily, and she said to me, "How do you wave?" So I said, "Well, I just demonstrated." Of course, the waiter came over, and I still don't know if it was a prank or not. It was very good if it was. I completely fell for it.
It wasn't a prank.
Another thing that happened, now, here's an odd thing. Over the years, I've developed a skill, which for me is a very important life skill. And I'll give you an example. I was at the Hay Festival, and a guy in an Oxfam T-shirt. I mean, a T-shirt with Oxfam on, not like a Bionic Woman T-shirt that's a bit grubby and smells of mothballs. And he came over and he said, "Nice to meet you. I'm from Oxfam, and we're doing this thing where we want celebrities to go around schools and speak to kids about the importance of reading and blah, blah, blah." And he said, "I wonder if you'd be interested in having a chat, but, you might possibly do it." And I said, "No." And he just looked at me, honestly, like I'd punched him in the stomach. And there's a lot of this. I think if you say no to something, anything, people think you're a really bad person. And I think being able to say no is very, very important.
You just didn't want to do that.
I didn't want to do it. I could have said...
You're not saying everyone should always say no to Oxfam.
No, I'm not saying that for a second, although I am a cathod man myself, but I don't want to set this up as a rivalry by any means. But I
You shouldn't be scared of saying no.
No,
though.
it's important, because I could have said to him, well, what, it is my number, speak to my agent, or, I'll have a chat to you, and then I could have avoided him. All the sort of things people do, but I just said, no.
I've only just started saying it. My therapist helps me
Yeah,
say
I've heard that. Well, it's not before time, can I just say that?
I was in Camden one day, and I got a kebab. And I was eating this kebab, and this lady came to me. And sometimes in Camden, you don't know whether someone is just a normal person or whether they're a beggar person.
Yeah, because they dress. There's sort of a homeless chic that people wear.
But sometimes people are dressed kind of quite poshly, but then you notice they've got no shoes on.
Yeah.
But she said to me, I was eating the kebab, and she said, "Oh, that looks nice. Can I have a bite?" And because you're not allowed to say no, I kind of paused and thought, well, what? And then I realised, no, in that situation, it's okay to just say no.
Well, a tramp asked me, can you still say tramp? I think they were called tramps then. I was on New Street Station in Birmingham, and I was eating a burger, and a tramp said to me, can I have a bite of that? And I said, you got enough food between your teeth to keep us both going for a week. And I think it's that kind of more straightforward approach that helps to lift people.
Absolute
Radio.
Isy Suttie has joined us in the studio, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning, Izzy. It's lovely to see you. Can I start by saying you're on tonight at the Soho Theatre?
Yeah,
aren't
that's
you?
right.
Just in case you didn't know.
Yeah, no, it's good to remind me. It's pretty early.
I don't need to think, nice quiet night in, watch Britain's Got Talent final, and then suddenly, 9 o'clock, think, oh my God.
I know. I'm so jealous, actually, of everyone that can watch it.
No, well, I can't watch it as well, because I've got to fly all the way to Greece.
Do you want me to text
and sit
you the
around.
results?
Oh, yeah, please. Text.
Okay.
And if there is any bloodshed, if you could add that to the text.
Well, if Susan Boyle doesn't win, I'm going on a rampage.
Are you?
Yeah.
Where are you
going to
go?
We're going to hold it to that. I can imagine a Gareth rampage would involve some biscuits being broken.
Yeah, go down to
It would
Costco.
just be like Holly Steele. I want to start again!
Holly Steele, I don't think she could ever do radio, because she'd never get the headphones over those giant-sized jugs.
Cry and whinge.
When I say
and-
jugs, I'm on about her ears.
Oh, dear
Oh,
me.
my God, what's happened?
9:15.
Yeah, apparently she's had quite a lot of work done overnight to try and win the show. It's lovely to see you. So the show, is the tickets for tonight, is it worth telling people how brilliant it is?
Well, you know what? I haven't been checking ticket sales because
Well,
I
if
was
people
like, I don't wanna
can't get
know.
in, they could just kind of hang around outside like people do at big football matches. There'll be a big screen in Leicester Square.
Yeah, exactly. I would hope so.
So this
They'll
is
show
your
it in between.
This
Britain's
is
Got
your
Talent.
because the last time you were on, actually you weren't on. I was speaking to you, and we were talking about whether you were going to go to Edinburgh or not. And you weren't keen, and your manager was
wasn't.
pressuring you.
He
Who
was.
won?
I won. Well,
Ah.
Peep Show won because the filming schedule clashes. So I was looking for a reason not to go to Edinburgh because I just wanted to give it a miss this year. And then they went, "We need you for Peep Show." And I was
So
like,
you're doing
"Oh,
more Peep
dear."
Show?
Yes.
Oh, brilliant.
So I've got a read through after this, and then we'll start rehearsing.
Immediately after this?
at 10 o'clock. Yeah.
Oh, I really like read-throughs are the best part of any scripted thing because
Yeah.
you got the work. You don't have to remember anything, which I think is great.
And you can have loads of biscuits.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, and that's true. But do people laugh at a read-through when you sit and read the Peep Show script?
Yeah, they do laugh, but also there's always like makeup people there and crew there and stuff, and they don't necessarily laugh, and you think, oh no, I'm not funny, but actually they're just thinking about like what angle they're going to do it from, or
It's very weird that, but I've got friends who are makeup people, and they honestly say stuff like, "Oh yeah, I saw that Slumdog Millionaire. I thought the girls' costumes they just were," and you realise they watch the whole film from a costume point of view.
No, I know, it's mad, it's crazy.
So you're doing Peep Show. That's the next thing.
That's the next thing. I'm doing a Radio 4 show as well called Lawrence and Gus Hearts and Minds, and we're recording that at the moment. That's like a sketch show with songs in it.
And that's you writing and performing. As
Yeah,
well.
that's right.
You are a multi-talent, and you work on skins as well.
I do work
which is
on
a very
skins.
old-fashioned method. Hey!
Hey.
So what do you do on Skins? Because I'll tell you why I asked this. I've never seen Skins because it's kind of young people, I always think.
We've got friends in Skins, though.
Well, David Baddiel's been in Skins, hasn't
Yeah,
he?
and Harry
And Morwenna.
Enfield, and yeah, they have really
David's
good
wife, David's partner.
actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't watch it because I think it's a youth programme and it feels unsavoury. A man of my age sitting watching stuff like that. But It says on our list of all of your many jobs, comedy consultant for Skins.
Yeah.
Now, I like the idea of being a comedy... And what does that entail?
Well, it sounds really grand, but it's just like there's a lot of writers on Skins, so there's often like 15 to 18 of us in a room with a whiteboard kind of going, this can happen, no, this can happen. So I just suggest comedy ideas, basically.
And are they all young, all the people that write on it?
A lot of them are young. There are a couple of people your age, though.
Are there?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Do you mean Frank's not young?
Yeah, no, I think that I'm okay with that. They offer a sort of historical
The veil's been
perspective.
lifted.
If there's a World War II flashback, which I don't know if there's been one of them in Skins, probably not. I think I'm probably thinking of Goodnight Sweetheart. I always get those two mixed up.
Well, they're very similar, Frank. But,
So, for anyone who's not familiar with your work, you see, I mean, as a stand-up, are you called a stand-up?
yeah,
Because there'll be
so.
people that have seen you on Peep Show but don't know that you do live stuff, maybe. So if we came to see you tonight,
Yeah.
for example, I can't because I'm on holiday increase, as you know. What kind of thing would we get?
I do songs mostly. I play the guitar, and they're things that come out of my head. So sometimes I suppose they could be categorised as off the wall, but I don't think that because it's my head, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a beautiful voice, if I may say so.
Thank you very much.
You are the hairless angel. I'm guessing. Obviously, I'm
Can
guessing.
you imagine if no one had seen Britain Got Talent and they were like, what is he talking about?
Do you know what? Even if they have seen it, it's quite weird.
I think they probably think that anyway. Now, you got into comedy in kind of an odd way, didn't you? You had a moment.
Yeah, I just I was doing the songs for ages. When I was at school, I used to write songs to try and pull lads.
Does that work? I've never heard of sort of musical chat-up lines.
It's like green sleeves, isn't it?
Does that would work for you and no one else?
Because I fancy Henry VIII.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he
Yeah.
wrote that for you then, effectively, didn't he? I used to get commissioned in like sweets and mini Baby Bells and stuff like that when I was about 11 or 12 to write songs for lads at school, and then
What?
I know, and then I'd teach it to my mate, and I'd play guitar on it, but she'd sing it. But I would have written it.
What kind of... Was it the Nina Conti stage school you went to? It was just an ordinary school.
Yeah, it was just an ordinary school. Yeah.
So where would it... You'd have a guitar, presumably.
Yeah, so I had the guitar. So she'd point him out, and then we'd write down facts about him, like the colour of his hair and his eyes, and like a couple of facts about his personality. And then I'd write the song. Sometimes it would be a duet because one time we fancied two best friends called Tim and Dan. So we wrote a song for both of them with us singing different lines about each of them. But generally, it was just for one boy. And then we used to record it, like have a recording session onto cassette tape, and then we used to put it in their bags while they were in assembly, kind of anonymously.
Did they know it was you? Had they
Yeah.
commissioned you to write it?
Well, the friends had, the
Okay.
boys just ran a mile.
And did it work, though?
No, it really didn't. I mean, at best, they thought that we were a bit mental and kind of needed a hug, but that was it.
Well, I was going to think, well, you know, I'd be quite... I was going to think. I didn't think it in the end. I thought better of it. It'd be quite flattering, but if you're all across the playground, a different boy every couple of days, I
Yeah,
don't suppose it is, because you and your wandering troubadour chat-up lines had become a feature of the school.
That's it. We moved on quite quickly when there was no reaction. We were like, oh, well, it didn't work on him. Let's look for another one.
So did it ever work?
It never worked.
Oh.
Do you think it would work now?
Well, I think it probably would work now, but now you've got a bit of celebrity. Almost anything would work, I think. That's what I think.
Is it?
Also, you've grown into a very beautiful woman,
Thank
if
you
I may
very
say
much.
so. Moonlight becomes you, it goes with you. See, it doesn't work.
Absolute Radio.
So, is it your show tonight? It's at the Soho Theatre. What time is it at?
It's 8 o'clock, 8 till 8:55.
And I think there might be a few tickets left, I don't know. So you should really go, because I've seen Izzy live, and she's very, apart from being very funny, which obviously is pretty essential for a comic, the audience kind of loves you, if you know what I mean, which is it's a special gift, isn't it?
Thank you very much.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's love in the room, and I like that. So, yes, what was I going to say next? I'll tell you what I was going to say next. It's about childhood ambition, isn't it, partly?
Yeah, it is. It's about what I wanted to be when I was a kid versus what I've ended up being. And for this...
It's odd, because we had a phone-in about it last week, and there was people who wanted to be... Like, I wanted to be a cowboy, and a bloke phoned in who wanted to be a beaver when he was a kid. And,
A beaver?
Yeah. Gareth wanted to be a preacher. Emily wanted to be a professor of sweeties. You know, obviously a very common one. So what was you?
I wanted to be a princess or an albino. But I'm not inherently racist. The albino thing was because I wanted to dye my hair all the colours of the rainbow but not have to bleach it first, because it would go out of condition
Very
if I bleached
practical.
it. Yeah.
The perk of being an albino.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was going to say the lighter side of being an albino, but you can't get much light. Well, that's a great... but can one become an albino?
No, I don't think so. I was really angry with my mum for ages that wasn't an albino. You know, in that way that when you were a kid you sort of go, I could have been anything but I came out as a girl, how boring. You know, you think there's endless
Yeah, I used to shout that a lot.
options.
But, yeah, I could have been anything. Why aren't I an albino? It must be difficult for a parent. They must, sat around thinking, can anything,
I know, it
do
must
anything?
be awful. But I asked some of my mates what they wanted to be. One of my mates wanted to be a tramp because she thought it was to do with trampolining. I just love that logic. It's like the beaver thing, isn't it? Why couldn't I have been a beaver? Why am I a human?
Yeah, but surely you'd check out what a tramp was before you went all the way down the career road.
We just had a text and email in, I still want to be a beaver.
Oh, it's that person. Oh, good. Yeah, sorry, I spoke in the past tense, thinking that's something that had gone by.
Exactly.
Oh, that's tremendous. Now, I remember you telling me a story, and I'd like you to share this with the public. When you did your exams at school, you were under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Now, we all felt that, I think, when we did our exams, but I've never known anyone who responded quite the way you did.
I was walking across a bridge in Matlock Park where I grew up that was probably about 25 foot off the river, and I felt under immense pressure. I've been sympathising with everyone on Britain's Got Talent, and one of my mates said, I'll give you a quid if you jump off the bridge. And it was raining, so I thought the water was really deep, so I was like, alright, I'm going to do it, because that's what I'm like. If someone says I'll give you a quid, I just go, yeah, alright, I'll do it.
Are you? Worth knowing. Carry on.
So I just climbed up onto the railings and then counted to 3 and jumped.
Oh my God.
I know, but because it was raining I couldn't see the bottom of the river, but actually it was incredibly shallow, so I basically landed on the bone of my ankle. I know, and had bright red hair at the time, and it all went in front of my eyes, and I put my head up and I was like, I've gone blind, I can only see red. And I realised it was just my hair. So
You thought you'd become an albino?
Yeah.
Be careful what you wish for.
Finally, my ambition. And then I couldn't walk because my foot was lodged between 2 massive rocks, and I had to have I'd broken my ankle, so I had to have it in plaster. But I couldn't
Was
admit
there a
what I'd
bedstead
done.
in there? I feel there should be a bedstead and a bike.
Yeah, and
But
a
there
pram.
wasn't.
There was nothing. Just
what a very fine river you chose. Then that was lucky.
A very lonely
That's
girl.
a horrible. So how long was that you were in plaster for?
So I was in plaster for 6 weeks, and I couldn't tell my mum what I'd done because I knew she'd just kill me. So I was like, Dave McDonald pushed me in the duck pond, who was just this guy at school, but then I got into massive trouble for lying. Then at the hospital they took me into a room and said, was it suicide? And I was like, well, it was a very high bridge, I was gonna,
Yeah. But Dave McDonald is still in care.
Exactly, it's traumatised.
Dismissed as a violent child.
Absolutely.
Oh, that could have been a terrible story.
Yeah.
That is. It's got a horrible sadness about it, that
I
thing.
know, but the good thing is that I was going out with a skateboarder at the time called Dave Rogers. There's only lads called Dave in Matlock. And, he carried me home, but he pushed me home on his skateboard. So I sat on his skateboard and he pushed me all the way home. I know. But yeah, I had my leg in plaster for
Would
6
an
weeks.
ambulance have been better, though?
Well, it did go, Nina.
Okay.
So it's quite
The
cute,
trouble is
actually.
with Dave, so it hadn't got the lights on it. I said get the lights and the siren.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
didn't
I'm
care.
staying here until you get home.
Absolute.
Radio.
Isy Suttie is still with us with her strange tales. And
She hasn't got any tails.
No.
And I would like to say you called her the hairless angel, and she has got hair.
She has got
People
hair,
are going to
yeah.
be turning up to see her.
Oh, yeah,
She's
I
got
bet
hair
I've
in all the
known.
right
Yeah,
places.
I never thought of that, actually. It wasn't very observational. of me. So Soho Theatre tonight, and you're also playing the Wimbledon Theatre soon.
Yeah, I'm playing the Wimbledon Theatre on the 30th of June with my friend Gavin Osborne, who does shows with Daniel Kitson, live shows, and he's brilliant. So we've started doing duets together. We've got one about me and him going to bingo, but he's P. Diddy. Like me and P. Diddy going on a date to bingo, basically. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
It's the Wimbledon Theatre. I think the Wimbledon Theatre is one. I once did a gig there, and the bloke who sort of was like the janitor or whatever said to me, "Oh, you're in a bit of luck tonight, so we've put you in the Anushka Hempel room."
Really?
And there was a room named after Anushka Hempel, which, if any of you don't know, used to be an actress, and now I think is a hotelier.
Yeah, she's a designer and
the only difference between it and the others was it had a pink satin curtain around the sink which covered the pipes underneath. So that, because Anushka, she's not into plumbing. I think so. Look out for that.
I would. She's probably never even been in that room, but they put the curtain up anyway.
Well, I think I've got the right theatre. I think, and if you don't get the Anushka, I should take it as a personal slight. Don't let Gavin have it.
I'm going to ask for that now. I'm going to ask.
So what do you? So when you work on Peep Show, you don't write Peep Show. You just
no,
act on it. That must be lovely, isn't it? Because whenever I've done things when I've just had to do other people's words, it just seems easy.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off, doesn't it? Because you're not doing everything yourself, and it's such a laugh. It really is. Because a lot of the crew have worked on it since the beginning, so everyone knows each other really well. And David and Rob are very nice who are in it. My mum wants me to get together with David Mitchell, but yeah, she's fine for it, actually.
But he's a nice bloke. He's not a looker, is he?
Oh, I think that would be quite nice.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll write a song about David Mitchell for you.
Will you
Then we can... Oh, David Mitchell, you look a bit like one of those baby birds that used to fall out of nests.
How much would you charge me to write for you to write that?
Well, my usual rate is about 20 grand. I've got to be straight with you.
Would you drop it for me?
I'd drop anything for you.
Could I give you a courgette?
Well, easy. Can I remind you that it's only 9:40?
I wasn't even.
No,
I just meant.
I know you weren't. I know you weren't.
I never even went down that road.
Not for 1 second. Well, I went down that road, but you know, I can't stop thinking about the fact that Britain. It's terrible. The FA Cup final is on today. That's not even entered my thoughts.
Yeah, the what?
Exactly. The FA Cup final has paled into comparison.
It'd be good if it could combine the two in some way, wouldn't it? Like the ones who went out first in Britain's Got Talent had to play in the FA Cup final today.
Well, there'll be tears, of course. I mean, you know when teams get relegated. I know my football team got relegated, so I can speak light-heartedly about this. And they cut to fans in the crowd crying. I often think they're doing a bit of a Holly Steele. Because
can we start again?
I think exactly. Can we start the season again? But if you look at them, I think they often know they're on camera and they think, "Oh, I'll look really gutted and dramatic." And
they're not as phony as her, though.
Oh no. Poor Holly.
Oh,
if you're
I've not
listening,
even
Holly.
seen this, and I feel so sorry for her.
Yeah, well,
you wait till you see it, Izzy.
Really?
Yeah, it'll be another story then.
Anyway, it's been beautiful speaking to you. Lovely to see you. Good luck with the show tonight.
Thank you.
And give my love to everyone at Peep Show.
I will do.
Especially baby bird David Mitchell.
Absolute
Radio.
Yeah, so I'm flying off to Greece. Is what I'm going to do. I've never been to Greece before.
Oh, you'll like it.
My only real experience of it is Stavros Flat. So
hang around because they're coming in. They can tell you. They can give you some tips.
Yeah, good. And I want to see them, but I don't want to. I don't want to press them for information. And Gareth is also going to be off because
I'm going to be away.
And you've got a very special reason. I mean, mine's just a holiday, but what is yours, Gareth?
Well, I'm having a baby, or my wife is having a baby. So I'm taking a holiday into parenthood.
Well, are you going away, or you're going away for a couple of weeks? Come back, the mess will be cleared up, everything will be sorted.
You're going away with the lads.
It'll have been wiped and put in clothes, and everything will have been lovely. Yeah. So when does that happen?
Well, she's due on the 5th of June, but I think they're late sometimes, first ones, which I think is, a very bad start.
I'm so
serious,
excited. It's like an absolute baby. Can we bring it in and have it in the studio sometimes?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. Do you think? I'd like the idea of the absolute baby.
Yeah.
The absolute baby sounds like something that's been carefully genetically designed. That's what worries me about it. The absolute baby.
Its first words are elbow.
I think Britain's Got Talent has blinded
Britain's Got
us
Talent.
to the negative points of exploiting children.
Yes.
And we're running into this.
I'll tell you who I'm going to miss most tonight. The man who claims that he sings like a saxophone. Now, if people are tuning in now, they think, oh, God, they've got a saxophone in the studio.
Yeah, trust me, they won't think that, Frank.
Yeah, I like that.
So that means I'm going to be on my own.
You're not going to be on your own, are you? You've got some fantastic people in with you.
Dave Gorman, the very brilliant Dave
I like
Gorman,
him.
will be sitting in my chair. He'll be in Dad's chair.
And in my chair, we're
Yes.
going to have Jimmy McGee.
Well, Jimmy McGee's a very funny comic.
He is,
who
he's
I've
brilliant.
worked with
But
in the
it's going to
past.
be like a supply teacher. What about if I play up to them?
Well, you'll be the one, you'll be saying stuff like, oh yeah, the tea, you get the tea over there. You'll be like, you know when people are really familiar with the place and they show off a bit.
And when you come back, I'll go, oh, it was so funny. Oh, no, sorry, it was when Dave and Jimmy were here.
Exactly. Yes, I got all that to look forward to.
better
So how
not
long are
be
you
any
away
good.
for? How long does it take to have a baby
I
nowadays?
think I'm away 3 weeks.
Oh, well, I'll miss you all, can I just say that? But we'll be back for ages after, because we've decided we're going to stay at Absolute Radio because we like it so much. And what a laugh we have on this show. So those of you who listened to us for the first 3 months as a team, thank you very much. And we'll all be back soon. Next week, Dave Gorman, Jimmy McGee and Emily will be here. How exciting is that? Joe Russell will be up in a minute. This is Franz Ferdinand.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with SwiftCover.com. For car insurance prices that'll blow you away. Get a life. Get Swift Covered at SwiftCover.com.
Absolute Radio.